Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, episode 19. Last time we got a very action-packed episode, or at least a second half of the said episode was very action-packed. Yes, it's fascinating to see that now the homunculus are starting to move, and that they are starting to go against what they consider their enemies, because yes, they could ruin the perfect balance they have with the power they possess, obviously. So they are after the people that could be a threat to their plans, and they don't want to leave anything behind, so nobody will suspect and nobody will take action against them, because yes, they cannot have a revolution, a real revolution, in their hands. And I don't mean the revolution they provoke in the, oh god, with the priest. I don't remember his name, I don't recall his name, but yeah, they don't want that revolution in, like in the other place. They don't want a revolution that they do not control, is what I meant to say. But anyway, I don't want to waste more time in this presentation, because yes, the last episode was very exciting. So yeah, let's just cut all of these and watch the next episode, shall we? Okay, I'm back. I just watched several times the episode back. Yes, this was a fascinating one. It genuinely was so exciting, so full of action, so full of adrenaline, and it was amazingly well done. Amazingly well done. There are different aspects that we can speak about this episode. First of all, the use of comedy. It still doesn't feel forced. They know when to use comedy, when you can kind of lighten up the mood just before a battle, before a very exciting battle, but not during the battle. They are not using the comedy during the battle, and of course, ruin the heavy weight of said battle, or they are not using it during a dramatic moment just to break tension. No. And that is something that is commendable, that they know when to use humor. And why I'm speaking about the humor first, because I think it's one of the hardest things to really pull off successfully, without looking kind of awkward, without kind of making the audience feel awkward. So yeah, it is pretty hard to pull it off correctly. And I love how this series is able to do it, to do what they need to do to create an amazing series. So yes, kudos to that. Kudos to whoever is in charge of writing. Well, my guess is obviously the mangaka is the first one that we need to commend, but obviously the one who is adapting the anime is actually commendable. Why I said this? Because, and I know probably a lot of you are tired of me comparing it to One Punch Man, especially the second season, but why I do this? Okay, a little bit of kind of off topic, which is something I really need to explain here. I compare it to One Punch Man, especially the second season, because that season has too many mistakes. Not so much that it becomes unbearable, that it becomes not watchable, but enough that make you feel bad, to make you see something that is not correctly done. It is kind of in the middle, in which it's not so bad that it's good, it's not so bad that you enjoy it because it's so ridiculous and it's funny, but it's not good enough for you to say, okay, it was a good anime, it wasn't so bad. No, it's right in that area in which it's kind of bad, kind of good, and I think that is the worst area you could be. And why I said this: you cannot adapt a manga just by copying everything that is on the manga and just put it on the screen. That is not how it works. The limitations of a book, of a comic, of a manga is that you cannot have moving frames, you cannot have this fluent movement. Hell, not even fluid movement. You cannot have movement. You need to portray movement, you need to portray action in a different way. So it can feel dynamic, it can feel correct, that you can feel the movement that is supposed to be happening in the manga. In an anime, it's a different story. In an anime, you have obviously the advantage of movement, that you can truly portray a dynamic movement in, well, thanks to the frames of animation. If you just copy the manga and don't try to create the movement that will be portrayed in the manga in the anime, you are going to fail. And this is what happened with One Punch Man. They just copy almost frame by frame the manga. And that is not what you should do. You should give it your own twist. And that's why season 1 of One Punch Man was so good. Because the person in charge, the director of One Punch Man season 2, knew what he needed to do. And what his team needed to do is so you can portray the real dynamic, the real sensation of this overwhelming strength, of this overwhelming speed in a movement, in a frame, in different frames, and you can see that result in season 1. And the director of the second season didn't know or didn't have enough time to really make the anime stand up. Stand out, not stand up. What the hell am I saying? So that's why. Meanwhile, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood and even Fullmetal Alchemist back in the day were able to do so. Were able to give that dynamic fighting. I think these ones are better than the last one, but still, from the time, it was pretty good. So that's why it works here. Yeah, they have a great story thanks to the idea of the mangaka, but they actually have a good director and a good studio to back said story. So all the frames, all the stuff that is going on in this anime will work, and it's working as we saw and as we speak, or as I said before. So now we're returning to obviously the episode at hand. We have a lot of twists and turns. First, now Mustang, now obviously Hawkeye and Jean know the existence of homunculus. Homunculi, I think, is the correct word, for the plural for homunculus. Obviously, the one who is more shocked is Mustang, because he knows alchemy. He knows the implication of the homunculi, of the existence of these creatures. The rest kind of see, oh, okay, they are terrible creatures, but perhaps we can kill them. But Mustang knows exactly what is needed to create a homunculus. So, yes, he is the most shocked. But I want to speak about the relentless of Mustang and why I love his character, and that's why I couldn't accept him becoming a murderer just by revenge, because he wants to protect his people. And yeah, in here we can see that he wanted to protect Jean. I don't know what happened to him, because we don't know what happened to him. My guess that, yeah, he was able to seal the wound, and perhaps, yeah, with fire, which will be very painful for anybody. And he was able to seal his wound with fire, which, again, very, very painful. So yes, it's unbelievably dangerous. But again, he's showing his relentlessness. And I love the scene in which Lost died. Because, yeah, she was so confident in her power. She was so confident that she wasn't able to die because she was a homunculus. And she was going to kill everybody that was necessary for them to be, well, saved to the homunculus. And I guess the plan of the father was a success. But she didn't count on the amazing courage that humans are able to show. In this case, or particularly Mustang, that he was going all out of his way to save all of his subordinates. But I think especially Hawkeye. I love that scene because it's so satisfactory to see some of the villains being defeated, even though previously you have no idea how the hell are they going to defeat these villains. And it's so satisfying to see Mustang prevail above Lost. I don't know if she's going to be revived by Father. I don't know if she's going to be back later on. I actually don't know. My guess, she's going to be back for the last word she said, that I cannot wait to see your... I don't remember if it was those eyes... I don't remember exactly, to suffer or something like that. I really don't remember the exact words that were said. But my guess, yes, she's going to be back. So, yes. But still, we're entering into a moment in which everything is escalating. Everything is moving forward way too fast, and we don't know what is going to happen. But we have a homunculus dead, and I know I'm going to sound like a monster by saying this, but my god, it was so satisfying to see her suffer, because she, alongside with the rest of the homunculi, are guilty of so much suffering. And yes, as I said during my introduction, the suffering of a lot of people thanks to the revolution that they provoke. So yes, this is kind of satisfactory to see her suffer. And in the last moment, we saw obviously the President King there, but not taking action. This is highly suspicious because he could get rid of Mustang in that moment. He could get rid of Risa in that moment. He could get rid of Alphonse in that moment. They were weakened. They didn't have any bullets. But there is something else in here. I don't know if the plan is going on. There is a plan behind this. And since he's not been compromised still, nobody still believes that he is part of the homunculi. So that's why he decided, okay, let's hold back. Let's go and keep pretending to be just this benevolent president. But it's highly suspicious. And now, I think this is the last point. Well, no, there is another point still. The introduction of the Hohenheim, the father of Ed and Al. And I'm not going to point something else because, yeah, it could be heavy spoilers. I don't know if other people are figured this out, and I don't know if this is part of my previous watching of the Fullmetal original, and I'm just projecting this into this series. Or it's actually something I deduce. So yeah, I'm going to shut up about that. But I was not expecting to see the father of Ed and Al in the last moment. I wasn't expecting that, and I cannot wait to see the next episode. But there is something else I want to speak about besides this. And this is going to be my last point for this video. The relationship between Risa and, of course, Mustang. And yes, there was a purpose, or there was a reason I said her name and his last name. Yeah, as you might have deduced, I have a shipping mentality between these two. But honestly, can you blame me? Their chemistry is such an amazing thing to see, to witness. The way they behave like an old couple. They bicker, they protect each other, and especially the last moment in which Risa believed that Mustang was dead. The suffering that she was seeing because she wasn't thinking straight. She knew that this woman was a homunculus because of the tattoo of the Ouroboros. But she didn't care. She was so desperate because she believed that Mustang was dead. And that speaks volumes of how Risa feels about Mustang and how desperate Mustang was to save, my guess is again, Risa. I love the relationship between these two, and I don't know, hopefully we're going to see this relationship being developed in the future. But I love the idea of these two having feelings for each other, because yeah, nothing is confirmed so fast. So fast. What the hell is wrong with me? But yeah, I love this relationship that they have. Oh man, I love this episode. As you can see, I cannot stop myself from thinking about this episode. But anyway, I genuinely finished the topic of this episode. I have nothing else to say. I think I speak everything I have to say so far. And if I keep going, I will keep rambling of how amazing this episode was. So yes, that's it for now, guys. Thank you for your attention, and well, see you on the next one. Bye.
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, give it a like so the algorithm from YouTube will help me out. And check my other videos, share them, and also why not subscribe to my channel and join this community. And as always, I want to thank you for your attention, your likes, and even your dislikes, your comments, which is something I always look forward to read. And yeah, once more, thanks, and see you on the next one.